In the following example, we are asked to find the determinant for the 3 by 3 matrix that's given. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this by using the minor and cofactor expansion. So what we're going to first do is we're going to pick a row to delete. All right. Now the row that I'd like to delete is, let's go with the middle row. So I'm just going to scratch it out here, but be sure that you can still read the numbers underneath and their appropriate sign. So what we're going to do to approach this is we're going to do what's called the minor and cofactor expansion for finding the determinant. So what you're going to do is you're going to then delete a column at a time and find the mini determinants of what's left. Okay, so let's delete this first column, and I'm going to color it with a highlighter so that we can still read it because we're going to need to come back to it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the intersection. So they intersected here at this number 5. Now if you look at the pattern chart up here at the top, this intersection has a negative symbol. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the opposite sign of 5. So what's the opposite of 5? Negative 5. So there's negative 5. And then we're going to find the determinant of the smaller matrix that's left. So we're going to write 4, 2, and then we're going to write 7. I'm sorry, not 7. 5, 7. 5, 7. So there we go. We find that determinant right there, 4, 2, 5, 7. Then we're going to add, all right. Now the next intersection will be here in the middle. So now we're going to delete the middle column. Okay. So there we're looking at the green column across with the red line. And that intersection there from the sign chart is the plus symbol. So we're going to keep whatever sign the intersection may have. And in this case, it's just a positive 5. So I'm going to write over here plus 5 times the mini determinant, which in this case will be 4 and then 7 down here, and then 2 and then 7 over here. Okay, so let's go ahead and write that. 4, 7, and then 2, 7. Okay, and then we're going to add again. Now we look at the next intersection, so let me go ahead and color that off with a highlighter here. Let's pick blue. And now this intersection here intersects at 3, and using the sign chart from over here, that's negative. So we're going to take the opposite of 3, which in this case is going to be negative 3. So I'm going to write minus 3, and let me erase that. Minus 3, and then I'm going to multiply that by the mini determinant. And so the mini determinant that's left is going to be 4, and then 7, and then 4, 5. There we go. So now all we have to do is find the mini determinants, multiply them by the numbers sitting in front of them, and then we're going to add everything together. So let's see what this looks like. I've got negative 5, and then the mini determinant inside here, 4 times 7 is 28, 2 times 5 is 10, 28 minus 10 is 18, so negative 5 times 18 plus 5, okay, and then we're going to have on the next part 4 times 7, which is 28, minus 2 times 7, which is 14, so 28 minus 14 is simply just 14, okay, and then we're going to have a negative 3, okay, times, and then we do again the mini determinant, 4 times 5, which is 20, minus 4 times 7, which is 28. So 20 minus 28 is negative 8. So negative 8 right there. And now we kind of simplify this. We're going to get negative 90 here, plus 5 and 14 is 70, plus, and then negative 3 times negative 8 happens to be positive 24. So go ahead and combine all of that, and you're going to end up with the magic number 4. So this right here is the determinant for the matrix. Okay, so let that sink in for a second, and then we're going to take a look at another way to compute the determinant in just a second. So think about it, hit pause if you need to. Okay, so now we've looked at the determinant one way. Let's take a look at a different way to solve the determinant. So we've got the same matrix. So my advice here is going to be take the first and the second column and just rewrite them. So let's go ahead and do that here. All right, let's go ahead and do that here for you. Make this a little bit bigger. Give me 1 second to manipulate this. Okay, so that looks a lot better. All right, so like I said, what you do is you copy and paste the first and the second column, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the diagonals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at 4, and I'm going to go 4, 5, and 7. Okay, and I'm going to take a look at those numbers, and I'm going to actually just multiply them. So 4 times 5 being 20, and 20 times 7 being 140. I'm going to write that down, plus, and then let's go ahead and take a look at 4 times 3 times 7. 4 times 3 being 12, 12 times 7 being 84. Okay, cool. And then let's go ahead and take a look at 2 times 5 times 5. And 2 times 5 is 10, and 10 times 5 is 50. So let me write down plus 50. Okay, there it is. All right, now I'm going to add those, and I get 140 plus 84 plus 50, 274. Now I'm going to use a different color and look at the diagonals a different way, starting with the bottom from 7. 7 times 5 times 2. 7 times 5 being 35, and 35 times 2 being 70. So what I'm going to do here is actually subtract. So I'm going to subtract that sum. So 70 is in my first product. And now let's take a look at the next, and let's see what we get. 5 times 3 times 4. 5 times 3 being 15, and 15 times 4 being 60. So let me write that down. 60 plus, now let's take a look at the next and final product. 7 times 5 times 4. 7 times 5 being 35, and 35 times 4 being 140. So let me write that down. And so I'm going to subtract, and then I'm going to add 70, 60, and 140. 70, 60 being 130, 130 plus 140 being 270. And then I take these two numbers, and then I say 274 minus 270, which is just 4. So the determinant of this matrix A is just 4, which was what we found earlier when we had worked this problem out doing the minor and cofactor expansion. So there's different ways to approach finding determinants of matrices that are bigger than 2 by 2. I think this way works really nicely. It's very simple, works out to be just some simple arithmetic, but you might also think about using your calculator. That's also a handy tool to help you find the determinant.